International Award 1986, Sir Hans Krebs Medal 1992, National Medal of Science 1992, Golden Plate Award 1994, Fellow of Royal Society, London 1994, and our own foreign member in the National Academy of Sciences 1986. He has had very significant contributions in the area of splicing genes, in the area of restriction modification enzymes. In fact, he has about 70% of restriction enzyme class 2 to his own contribution. It's our privilege and pleasure to invite him to University of Hyderabad on the auspicious occasion of BioAnveshna 2024, on the occasion of University of Hyderabad celebrating its Golden Jubilee year. Thank you very much. Please applaud Dr. Roberts.
Okay, well, it's a pleasure to be here. I always enjoy coming to India. I found tremendous hospitality, but I find that wherever I go, where there are scientists, and you will discover the same, you have a friend. One of the great things about science is it brings everybody together. We can disagree vehemently about things, but we don't find it necessary to shoot one another. I think if politicians learned a little about science, they might do a lot better in this world. Yeah. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is to give you a very personal history of my own life and how I came to win the Nobel Prize. And along the way, I'm going to try and give you some ideas of things that you might want to look into in your own lives as you go through science. And one of the overlying things is luck. I think we are all lucky. Everybody has a lucky break. If you look back on your life and you say, well, you know, I went this way rather than this way because of luck. And it is very important. It was a lesson that I learned when I was 16, 17 years old. I'll tell you a little more about it later. But it really is very important. Luck plays a huge role in our lives, and the secret is to take advantage of it, not to pretend that you somehow shouldn't have been lucky. Everybody is lucky. My luck actually started fairly early on. I was born in this town, Derby, in the middle of England, in 1943, 2 years before World War II ended. And it turned out the street that I was living on was on the flight path between Germany and the Rolls-Royce factory where they were making the engines for the bombers and fighters and so on that were attacking Germany. And they were constantly trying to bomb the Rolls-Royce factory. I lived on a street such that one side of the street was almost totally destroyed by errant bombing. I lived on the side that survived. So here I am, 2 years old, and already I had tremendous luck in my life just by living on the correct side of the street. It's surprising when you look back just how little things like that make a huge difference to you. And it's something you should all do. You should all take some time to go back and think about ways in which you were lucky. Now, when I was 4 years old, my father, who was a motor mechanic, moved down to Bath in the southwest of England, a beautiful city in Bath. And so I ended up growing up in Bath. I remember almost nothing about Derby. And that turned out to be very nice too. A lot of good things happened in Bath that may not have happened had I stayed in Derby. One of the first things that happened was I went to this junior school, St. Stephen's School, from 1950, from when I was 7 onwards. And it turned out, after I'd been there for a year or two, the headmaster, at the end of the day, used to come and give me puzzles to do. Give me a slip of paper, and he said, here's a puzzle. And they were pretty much all mathematical puzzles. And as a result of that, I fell in love with mathematics. I really felt, if you'd asked me when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, I was going to be a mathematician. This was what I was going to do with my life, and all because of this headmaster. And it turned out, I thought he did this to everybody, but he didn't. It was just to me. He somehow saw that, you know, I could do something, I would be interested in this, and it made a big difference to me. And I'm still in love with mathematics, and what I do professionally is mathematics, as you will see later on. So that was really good. It was a very good experience. The other thing that happened that was interesting was I had the best exam experience I've ever had. It turned out one day we roll up at school and we have our class, we have to sit and got a few sheets of paper, and the teacher said, oh, you know, can you fill in the answers to these questions on the sheet of paper? It turned out it was something called the 11+ examination. And depending upon how well you did, you either went to grammar school, which was sort of headed towards a more intellectual future, or you went to a technical school, which was heading into a technical. I had no idea, none of us, we had no idea that this was an exam that was actually going to shape the future for us. And I think it's actually a very good way to do exams. This idea of swotting for exams, I did spend about a year doing that, and it made absolutely no difference to the score I got at the end of it. It was a waste of time. So I think we all need to think a little bit about what is the best way to set exams and whether or not you really need a study. If you